All right, we're going to get started again for our second presenter. We have Daniel from Carol Kemper, who teaches 512 Spanish. Thank you.
Um, Hello, how are you today? My name is Daniel Cordova. I prefer to go by Danny. And today I'm going to present on major two tools that I use, Textivate and Plickers. How many of you have used Textivate before? No? Okay, perfect. That's great. So we're going to learn a lot about it. So like they mentioned, I teach 4th and 5th grade and 9th grade in high school. And sometimes when I teach 4th and 5th grade, they don't always have their devices like the high schoolers do. And that's one of the reasons why I go with Plickers and Textivate, because they can interact with the board and do all sorts of things without having them to have a device. So they can just do it from the board. How many of you have an interactive board or like a Promethean board at school? Perfect. So you have the same tools as I do. I'm gonna start you guys with a game. So I'm gonna get out of this, and in a little bit I'll share more about it. Just to try it, we're gonna play a game. So it's for money. It's fake money, but so just yell out the option, whether it's A, B, C, or D. And let's start with just some phrases. This is an English version, so we all can participate. So the first phrase is asking as a peacock. Let's try peacock. No. Let's try fiddle. Oh, just gave us the option. So the option is mustard. So we just lost a bunch of money. Let's restart. As alike as D. We just got 500. Perfect. C. All right. We just got $1,000. C. 2,000. Snuggus. Perfect. 5,000. E. As fit as a C. Got 20,000 so far. A. Everybody agree with A? Okay, let's go for that. 50,000. B. Very good. We are at 70,000. D. B. Oh, we're almost to the million. And 500. A. Perfect. We got to our $1 million. That's great. All right, so that's just one of the few games that you can play with your students where you can decide in this game how many options you give them. In this case, I gave you 4 options for a response. And you can also change it if you don't want to play for money. You have all sorts of options right here. Before I go into that, I'll show you really fast how I use it in my classroom. In my classroom, I'll go back to my presentation. I used with Movie Talks. How many of you have heard of Movie Talks or have done Movie Talks? Perfect. So Movie Talks is basically a video that you play, and some people use it with slides first, so we get into the vocabulary that we want. And I use Textivate to introduce the vocabulary and to do activities after. So Textivate helps you to save a lot in paper because you can do activities on the board. And I'll share some of these games so you can play them in your computer in a little bit. So I'm just going to show you really fast what a movie talk looks like, just so you get an idea. Let's get some sound. All right, so that's a video that you don't have to have a lot of language, but you kind of understand what's going on. So for Spanish in the elementary school, I use this a lot. And first, before I put the video, I introduce the vocabulary with Textivate. So I'm going to show you a little bit what that looks like. So first, we go through the flashcards, and here in the option, I can give them a clue of 50% of the word, or maybe just get rid of the vowels, and they can kind of take a guess. So dice, everybody knows what that means. Says, so we go like that, and then says is correct. Come, kind of give them an action, and that means eats, and so forth. So I introduce my vocabulary with this. Log, cocodrilo, crocodile, tira, throws, and that makes the kids kind of feel smart because they can guess that really right away, and also helps them learn the vocabulary or practice it at least. Nothing happens, no pasa nada. Roca, a rock. Toca, touches. Camina, walks. I, there is, there are. Frustrado. Mira. Vara. Grande. Se llama. Okay, and so forth. So we get that through that game. Just to introduce the vocabulary before we start, and then during the movie talk, I talk through the video, and then we get some practice on the language that way. That idea of the movie talks was introduced by Martina Bex. I don't know how many of you have heard of her. So she uses that a lot. And I'm going to have you guys play some games based on this. So I have the QR code for those who have an iPhone or a iPad. But if you want, the link is in the presentation. You can just click on the bottom right here, and you can play the games as well. So I don't know, I'll give you some time to play the games right now. So the first one is memory. So you just click the numbers until you find all of them. And you can share a sequence of the games that you want your students to play. Ocho. And this, with this game, if your students don't have a device, you can also practice numbers with that. Go and have them say the numbers to you in Spanish. And there you go. You finish the first game, then you go to the next. Same one for money. Oh, I just lost. So you here, restart. All right. And a lot of my students love this one, the football. And you can set it for your students whether they play against each other or whether you just have them play for a certain amount of time or the first one to score 3 goals or that type of thing. And this one is timed, so I just let it play for 1 minute. No pasa nada, nothing happens. And then you pass it to the next guy, you have to score a goal. Vara, stick, come, it's, and then you should go, and then they get all excited. If you get one wrong, it's the turn for the opposite player. If you're playing against the computer like right now, there's also a time, so I lost my chance. Now the other team is shooting. Roca. So you can also, if you click on the wrong guy, you also lose your chance. Touches. So we have 13 seconds to play. Whoever scored the most amount of points wins.
So this said it needed a student password. Do I click on it? Just click the X and watch go, I think. Oh.
Yeah, which I can create a student password and give it to the students. And they can play it from home, and I can assign it as a homework assignment if I want to. And the last one is just, this is the story that we did over the video. And this one has the option, if you see over here, if that day you don't feel like working with computers, you can select print and give them manipulatives, so a set of paper of the story, and they can cut it out and put it in the right order. And that way, it's super easy for teachers that don't have a lot of prep periods, because you just type this like in between classes and there you have it. It will do all these games for you super easy. So that's one of the reasons why I use it a lot, and I like it because there's many ways to practice the vocabulary. So I'm gonna get out of this one. Well, I'll put it first in order. Okay. So we do the movie talk. Okay. So in a little bit, I'll show you how to create one. Let me just exit this one. Let's go back to my presentation. Okay. So this one is a different type of exercise that you can do with Textivate if you're reading a novel. So for example, right now in my class, we are reading La Llorona, a story about the weeping woman. It's kind of a horror story. They kind of like that type of thing. So in this one, I'm going to show you one that's called Speed Read. I'm going to have somebody read. Is that okay? All right. The Speed Read, let me see. We go to text, and we're going to do a Speed Read. So this one, I have version F, which is 2 pages, but it's very big font, very easy. Is there anyone who wants to just try? Answers are excellent. So you're going to start number 1, I. Okay. And our job as a class, just we're going to practice, is to find out of what she's reading, in what order she's saying it. There's going to be an option that is the correct option. There will be 3 options. You'll have to say 1, 2, or 3. That's all you have to do. So we click start. We have to time ourselves. At the same time, where I click start, you start reading. So let's time it. 1, 2, 3.
Hay una mujer bonita, se llama María.
Oh, my bad. Sorry. I clicked the wrong game. That happens sometimes. All right, so go to my resources. We're playing La Llorona, aren't we? Where is La Llorona? Go on recents. Oh. Got it. Now we're gonna play the right thing. Sorry about that. Speed read. Now here's the real deal. Uno, dos, tres.
Hay una mujer bonita, se
One,
llama María y tiene una familia pequeña. Tiene un esposo guapo y también dos hijos adorables. Todos están contentos. Pero un día el esposo de María se va y no vuelva.
So this is time. It's kind of hard, isn't it?
Ahora María no tiene esposa, ahora está triste, también es pobre. Los hijos de María siempre lloran mucho, quieren comer y quieren ver a su padre. Los hijos siempre gritan, ¿dónde está papá? ¿Dónde está papá? Pero él no vuelve.
So here we just lost because we couldn't keep up with the speed of the reader, and that will happen in your classroom. What you do is just tell the class, well, let's try it again for a higher score. And now you can talk to your reader and say, why don't you read it slower?
I thought it was speed read.
Yeah, it's a speed read, but we still have time. And at the beginning, I give them the chance to read it slower, but then when we get to the second time we read it, the game goes faster and faster and faster, and that's why it's called speed read. But just to give them a chance to look at the game and see if we can keep up with the reader, because it's not as easy as it looks. And if you have a pen where you can click on the board, it's a lot easier, and the people can help you out. So let's try just one more time, see if we can do it together.
Want me to read it slow?
Yes, thank you. Whoa. Sorry, start. Uno, dos, tres.
Hay una mujer bonita, se llama María
One,
y tiene una familia pequeña.
two,
Tiene un esposo guapo
one,
y también dos hijos adorables. Todos están contentos,
two,
pero un día el esposo de María se va y no vuelve.
one,
Ahora María no tiene esposa,
two,
ahora está triste, también es pobre. Los hijos de María siempre lloran mucho,
oh,
quieren comer y quieren ver a su padre.
two,
Los hijos siempre gritan, ¿dónde está papá? ¿Dónde está papá? Pero él no vuelve.
three,
Un día María va al río, sus hijos van con ella. Ellos quieren ver a su padre y quieren comer. Lloran y gritan, quiero ver a papá, quiero ver a papá. Y también gritan, tengo hambre.
all right. So we just got 438 points. That's a lot better than what we did the first time. That's great. So this is a fun game because they get really interactive. Thank you so much. And that's another way that you can do that. Another activity that I will show you right now, before I continue and show you how to create one, is gap fill. Gap fill. So, how many of you do activities where they have to fill out a blank? So this is one that you could also create with Textivate. And if you don't feel like doing it in the computer that day, you can also print it. Here, just click the print button, and you can make copies and have an activity done for you. So this is the story she was just reading, but now we have several options, and now it's on. The reading is completely there. We can just fill the gaps. So right here, there's a woman. Her name is, for number 1, Maria. So let's look at letter O. Just drag it, and you could put wrong answers, but when you click check, if it turns green, it's correct. We're good. So that's another game, and you can also copy paste the whatever reading you want to do, and you can select what words you want them to be as the blanks. So I'm gonna go to Textivate. In this one, in my presentation, I'm not gonna do Quizlet Live right now. For the Textivate, you can also just go to Google and click Textivate, and you can enter the regular website. It should look something like this. Also, here's where you start the whole thing. Gonna leave it blank. It should look something like this if you open it for the first time. And then let's say we want to create a reading for my class that day, and I'm teaching an English class, ESL. Let's select this short reading I just found on a website. Copy and go to Textivate. Wrong Textivate. This Textivate. And click paste. Then the reading is all there. I can also go here and use the find gap fill on the bottom, if you can see it. And then I have the reading right here, and I can select what words I want them to fill out as the blanks, and just click on them. And as you can see, they show. The game will also select random words if you don't want to select specific ones. So once I'm happy with the words that I want, I just close out of here and then click Textivate in the bottom. And it will let me play the games. There's all sorts of games. We haven't even explored the surface of this. So tiles is one that I use a lot, because you have the story and you just have to put it in order. So this is one version of the story that I just made really fast. You can also work with vocabulary. There's another option here that is called, this one doesn't have it. Let me go back to the creating. Match. So if you want them to ask questions about the reading, you can make it question and answer instead of like terms, just question and answer. And then that way you can play another different way of playing this game with the students. You can also select here in sequence, a sequence of activities that you want them to do specifically. Before I continue, I'm going to show you one more thing. You can do songs with this. I use for music. So is there any questions so far? No? Good? Okay. At any point you can stop me. So this one, I'm going to show you really fast how to, I'm going to go out of this and show you how to do a song. This is a song called Waving Flag. The song lyrics are right there. You can also put the video of the music video right there, and they can do gap fill at the same time they're listening to the song. So you play the video, and as they're listening to the song, they're filling the gaps. You feel the video is too hard. Oh, that's another song. That's nothing to do with it. I don't know where my Textivate went. Oh, I just logged out of it. Don't worry, I'll just get here, back to it. I was just gonna show you another option that you can do with the song. So, as you notice in the top option, I use that to get the video. You can install the video, the music video. You can also have the lyrics up. So, if you don't want them to hear the music yet, just want them to fill the gaps with the lyrics, you can put the lyrics next to them. And you can play all the games that we just did with the music. If you want to play soccer based on the song, you could do that. So all sorts of tools that you could do with this. One of my favorites, but this one is like I assign it for homework because you have to have a keyboard, is this Snake or the Invaders. Well, this snake, I'll show you the snake first. So you click start, and this is the word missing, and you just select the letters. And it's timed, so you have to be. There is freedom. So you have to find the word for freedom here. Well, that's one of the games. I've never played with the song, but it's pretty fun once you can. If you have an easy version where the students know all this vocabulary and are familiar with the vocabulary, it's pretty easy. Okay, I'm gonna move on and show you our second tool. So this is all about Textivate. If you have any questions, you think of other questions once you're trying. Oh, questions, perfect. Yes, there's a free version, but it doesn't let you do all and create a lot. If you want to, for me it's worth it because all the paper I just saved by doing all these activities.
So do you just get, do students need a version too?
No,
or
if you
just-
pay your I think it's around $70 annually, you get access to everything. That's the premium. So you can assign homework. You can even keep track of how they did on the games. It gives you the records. You can put them in the grade book and all that type of stuff. So it's very, very useful. So for some of you, for me, it's worth the $70 because of the money I save. But the other thing I was going to present today is Plickers. That's a free option. This one, you don't have to pay anything. I'm going to play a set, but for this one, I'm going to pass these cards. I'm going to show you kind of what it looks like on my presentation. So the Plickers looks like this. High schoolers enjoy it. In the 4th and 5th graders enjoy it as well, because they just think it's innovative and kind of fun, because you're using your phone in class, and that's kind of against the rules. All right. So each one of you are gonna get a Plicker card, and they have a number in the corner. Let me get to my Plickers. Yes, they're over there. Okay. Good. All right, so I'm gonna go here to the Plicker website. All I have to do here is select Now Playing, and I'm gonna put whatever's on my phone. Click Play on Demo Class, and it should show a question over there. This one also I use it for asking surveys, not just like questions about the story. Okay, so the point of this game, Plickers, you have a card, don't you? And in that card, the students have several options, A, B, C, or D. And you post a question. Then after you post a question, the students will decide what is the correct option. They have to put the correct option at the top. And then with your phone, if your Plickers is working, you should be able to scan them all, just like that. And it should show all the responses on the board, which is pretty impressive. They like it. I'm going to ask you this question, see how many know the answer. So now post the question. And the question is, when is Mexico's independence? And might surprise you that a lot of students don't think that is Cinco de Mayo, but okay, perfect. So I'm scanning your cards. As your number shows up, you can put your card down. Perfect. I think got all of you guys. Perfect. So your numbers should show. And right here, I click on the stats, and it gives me the stats. One person selected September 14. 6 people selected 16th of September. And 6 people selected Cinco de Mayo. So that gives me a graph of the responses. And the correct response was 16 de septiembre, September 16. And then I can tell you also which cards did, and the students like to know who's wrong and who's right. And that type, if you don't want anybody to feel bad, you can just keep your records and just don't share them. Just share the percentage for them so they can feel as a class that they're accomplishing something. With Plickers, you can play a set of questions in your library, or you can just play one question at a time. It works pretty neat. It usually works better if you play a set of questions because they don't have to wait for so long, and you can just go question after question, and they can just be participating that way. Because otherwise they get distracted and start breaking the cards and that type of thing. For Plickers, I'm just going to show you here how you make one. So you click here, New Set. You have to have the app in your phone as well. How many of you have used Plickers before? Plickers? Okay. So it's pretty easy. So just so you know how to make your set, just type a question here. How are we feeling? And bad. Good. So. And usually throw a funny one for the students once in a while. All right, so then you have your question done. You can add an image if you want. I don't have images in my cloud here, but do you have the option to do that? when you're happy with it, then you click. You can add actually one more question if you want. As many questions as you want. I think up to 8. It recently changed. It used to be a lot all different look, and it just recently changed the website. And you have your you can have your library with some of the lesson plans that you do and play your questions. The other thing that I was gonna show today, I don't know how many of you have played with Quizlet Live. I'm pretty sure many of you like that. There's other ways that they just recently posted how to play, which caught my attention, because most people just play it the regular Quizlet Live way, right? But there's also a way where you set 4 computers in a row, and you can have the team going one at a time, checking all the computers, and it's kind of like a rally type of thing. And because otherwise sometimes they rely on the smart kid, and he answers all the questions for all of them. And if you send one at a time, it's more interactive, and it's a way that they can all participate and they can all be accountable for it. So with Quizlet Live, that was going to be the end of my presentation. If you have any questions or difficulties, especially with Textivate, I'm not any expert by all means, but I use it quite a bit, so I know what some of the troubles that you run with. You can just let me know. And here is my information if you want to contact me for any questions that you might have. Kind of early, but